It was a Tuesday morning. The collection garage was, music, quiet, and Lucas Merritt had his hand on a car worth $2.80, music, million. 0:099 seconds. Get your hands off that car. 0:1111 seconds. Lucas turned. Four staff members were watching from the service corridor. 0:1616 seconds. Get away from that car. Those cars aren't your responsibility. 0:2121 seconds. Stay in your bay. Never touch my cars again. 0:2626 seconds. The garage went very quiet. Lucas looked at Natalie. He looked at the four people watching him. And then he said the thing. 0:3434 seconds that nobody in that room was ready to hear. Music, I built every one of them. 0:40 seconds. Nobody laughed. Nobody moved. Music, what did you just say? 0:48 seconds. I built every one of them. 2 cars in this collection were designed by me. I know every line, every panel, every. 0:56 seconds. Decision. The collection garage was completely, music, silent. 1:001 minute. Natalie Cross had spent 14 years building the most exclusive, music, private car collection in the region. 1:081 minute, 8 seconds. $34 million, 11 cars. She knew the name of every designer behind every vehicle in that. 1:161 minute, 16 seconds. Room. She did not recognize the name Lucas Merritt. Not yet. Before I tell you how that moment happened, drop your city in the comments right now. 1:261 minute, 26 seconds. Where in the world are you watching from today? I read every single one. And if this is the kind of story you come here for, hit that subscribe button right. 1:351 minute, 35 seconds. Now we put a new story out every single week. Real characters, hidden depths, the moments that change everything. 1:451 minute, 45 seconds. Subscribe and never miss one. Now, let me take you back, not to Tuesday morning, further back than that, to a 1:541 minute, 54 seconds design studio in Milan, to a sketch on paper that became one of the most celebrated cars of its decade. And to 2:022 minutes, 2 seconds. The man who drew it, who had no idea that the woman who would one day ban him from touching it, was about to walk through the door of his life. 2:122 minutes, 12 seconds. Lucas Park woke at 5:30 without an alarm. He made coffee. He made Ava's oatmeal on the low flame and set her. 2:202 minutes, 20 seconds. Vitamins on the small saucer beside the orange juice, the short glass, not the tall one, a preference she had declared. 282 minutes, 28 seconds. At age 6 with complete authority and never revised. He knocked on her door at 6:15. 2:382 minutes, 38 seconds. 2 knocks. Ava appeared in 11 seconds. 2:432 minutes, 43 seconds. She had her mother's eyes and her father's precision. She came to the table with her notebook. She had been keeping one since age 7, filling it. 2:512 minutes, 51 seconds. With observations and questions and distinctions she considered important and looked at her father across the 582 minutes, 58 seconds. Stable. Ava normal day. Lucas service work. 3:043 minutes, 4 seconds. 2. Ava the collection garage. Lucas not today. She wrote something. He had stopped asking what she wrote years ago. 3:143 minutes, 14 seconds. She shared everything eventually, always at the moment she considered the information ready rather than the moment. 3:203 minutes, 20 seconds. She asked for it. Ava, Dad, the flat file drawer. He looked at her. Lucas, what about it? 3:303 minutes, 30 seconds. Ava, I was looking for my colored pencils last night. I opened the wrong drawer. A pause. Lucas and Ava, I saw. 3:393 minutes, 39 seconds. The drawings. The car drawings, the big ones. He was quiet for a moment. Lucas, those are working drawings from a long. 3:473 minutes, 47 seconds time ago. Ava, they're beautiful. He looked at his coffee. Lucas, yes. Ava, did you make them up? Lucas, some of. 3:563 minutes, 56 seconds. Them are made up. Some of them were built. She looked at him with the specific attention she brought to things that contained more than their. 4:044 minutes, 4 seconds surface. Ava, built like real cars that people drive. Lucas, real cars? Yes, Ava. Are they famous? He looked at her. 4:154 minutes, 15 seconds. Lucas, the cars are famous. I'm not. She wrote that down. The specific distinction of it. The cars are famous. 4. 254 minutes, 25 seconds. I'm not went into the notebook with the careful exactness she brought to things she decided were worth recording precisely. 4:324 minutes, 32 seconds. Ava, why aren't you famous, Lucas? 4:364 minutes, 36 seconds. Because the cars were always the point, not the person who drew them. She seemed to find this satisfactory. She went back. 4:444 minutes, 44 seconds. To her oatmeal. He drove her to school at 7:25. 4:494 minutes, 49 seconds. He came back. He stood in the garage for a moment before getting in the car for the drive to Cross Prestige. The flat file drawer was under the workbench. 4:584 minutes, 58 seconds. 7 drawers, each one wide enough to hold an A0 sheet flat, each one containing work from a specific period. 5:055 minutes, 5 seconds off his career. He had not opened most of them in 4 years. They were not hidden. 5:115 minutes, 11 seconds. They were simply not displayed, which was a different thing. He looked at the drawer for a moment. Then he got in the car and drove to work. 5:205 minutes, 20 seconds. Lucas Merritt had spent 14 years as a senior automotive designer at Stella Design Group in Milan, one of 3. 5:285 minutes, 28 seconds. Independent studios whose work defined the visual language of the most significant European performance. 5:345 minutes, 34 seconds. Vehicles of the previous 2 decades. He had not arrived there dramatically. He had arrived the way most people arrived. 5. 425 minutes, 42 seconds. At the thing they were best at through sustained contact with it across years that began before anyone was paying attention. 5:525 minutes, 52 seconds. His father had been a draftsman, engineering drawings, architectural plans, the specific technical precision. 5:595 minutes, 59 seconds. Off a man who communicated through lines on paper rather than words in a room. 6:046 minutes, 4 seconds. Lucas had grown up watching his father draw. Had developed the specific ability to read a drawing, to understand what it. 6:116 minutes, 11 seconds. Described, what it implied, what it left to interpretation before he had fully developed the language to explain what he was seeing. He had studied. 6:206 minutes, 20 seconds. Transportation design. He had spent 3 years in tin. He had joined Stellar at 28 as a junior designer and 6. 286 minutes, 28 seconds. Had across 14 years produced work that appeared on 6 production vehicles across 4 manufacturers. Work that was 6:366 minutes, 36 seconds. Celebrated under the manufacturer's names and the studio's name but never under his own because that was how the 6:4:36 minutes, 43 seconds. Industry worked, and because Lucas had decided early and without particular resentment that this arrangement suited him. 6:5:26 minutes, 52 seconds. He was not interested in being known. He was interested in the work. The two cars in Natalie's collection were his most. 7:007 minutes. Significant work. The 2019 Italian Grand Tour had taken 2 years. Lucas had led. 7:077 minutes, 7 seconds. The exterior design from the first concept sketch through 17 iterations to the final production approval. The cars. 7:167 minutes, 16 seconds. Design language, the specific relationship between its roof line and its rear hunches, the way the hood center line resolved into the front. 7:247 minutes, 24 seconds. Fascia. The shadow line at the door's midsection that changed character with the position of the sun had been. 7:317 minutes, 31 seconds. Described by 3 separate automotive publications as the most coherent design statement of its generation. 7:397 minutes, 39 seconds. Lucas had read one of those reviews at his kitchen table in Milan on a Tuesday morning and then gone back to the studio to work on the project he was currently. 7:487 minutes, 48 seconds. In the middle of. The 2016 hypercar had been different, only 12 units built. The 7:557 minutes, 55 seconds. Design director had presented it publicly. Lucas had sat in the audience at the Geneva Motor Show and watched the 8:028 minutes, 2 seconds car be unveiled and listened to the applause and said nothing to the person sitting beside him about what he had. 8:098 minutes, 9 seconds. Contributed to it. He had designed its entire body language. Every surface, every edge. 188 minutes, 18 seconds. Every transition from one surface to the next that produced in the finished car the specific quality of visual tension. 8:268 minutes, 26 seconds. That made it look as though it was moving at speed while standing still. 8:318 minutes, 31 seconds. His name was on page 3 of the internal documentation. 8:368 minutes, 36 seconds. Not on the press release, not on the placard at Geneva, not anywhere that the person who eventually paid $4.1 million. 448 minutes, 44 seconds for one of the 12 units would encounter it. He had driven Ava to school and gone to work and had been walking past the 8:528 minutes, 52 seconds collection garage at 10:43 when he stopped. The 2019 Grand Tourer was visible through the glass. He had gone 9:009 minutes in. He had stood at the car. He had put his hand on the door hand. He had been measuring the deviation, the 4 millimeters. 9:099 minutes, 9 seconds difference between the production geometry and the original sketch when the side door opened. Natalie Cross had not built her collection by accident. 9:199 minutes, 19 seconds. She had built it the way she built everything, with the specific combination of knowledge, patience, and financial precision that separated serious. 9:289 minutes, 28 seconds. Collectors from people who simply bought expensive cars because they could afford to. She had been studying automotive. 9:359 minutes, 35 seconds. Design since she was 22. She had read every significant design brief she could access. She had attended Geneva. 9:439 minutes, 43 seconds. Frankfurt, and Pebble Beach every year for 12 years. 9:489 minutes, 48 seconds. She knew the names of the designers behind every car in her collection. She knew the design philosophies. 9:569 minutes, 56 seconds. The constraints they had worked within, the decisions they had fought for, and the ones they had lost. 10:0310 minutes, 3 seconds. She knew Ian Cameron's approach to the Rolls-Royce Phantom Surf. She knew the specific tension between Luc Doncaux's. 10:10 minutes, 10 seconds instincts, and the institutional constraints of the Bentley brief. She could describe from memory the geometric 10:18 10 minutes, 18 seconds philosophy behind the rear hunches of the 2019 Grand Tour. In her collection, the decisions made the 10 to 25 10 minutes, 25 seconds iterations rejected. The final resolution that had made automotive publications describe it as the most 10 to 33 10 minutes, 33 seconds coherent design statement of its generation. She had never heard the name Lucas Merritt. Not because she had not. 10:41 10 minutes, 41 seconds looked, because Lucas Merritt's name did not appear anywhere that Natalie's research had reached. The studio. 10:48 10 minutes, 48 seconds attribution had been to Stella Design Group. The lead designer credit in the public documentation had been assigned 10:56 10 minutes, 56 seconds to the studio director, the man whose name appeared at every press event and whose face appeared in every profile. 11:0411 minutes, 4 seconds the internal documentation, the factory records, the design approval files. The technical sign-off sheets that named the 11:12 11 minutes, 12 seconds specific individuals responsible for specific elements was not publicly accessible. Natalie had not accessed it. 11:19 11 minutes, 19 seconds because she had not needed to. The studio name was sufficient for the purposes of her understanding. She had been wrong about what sufficient meant. 11:30 11 minutes, 30 seconds she had come into the collection garage at 10:43 on a Tuesday morning to check the staging for an afternoon client. 3,711 minutes, 37 seconds visit a potential acquisition consultation with a collector from Connecticut who was considering a significant purchase and who had 11:46 11 minutes, 46 seconds requested to see Natalie's personal collection as a reference for the standard she maintained. She had come in 11:54 11 minutes, 54 seconds through the side door. She had seen Lucas immediately. 11:59 11 minutes, 59 seconds he was standing beside the 2019 Grand Tour. His left hand was on the door handle. His attention was on the car. 12:08 12 minutes, 8 seconds with a quality that registered in the half second before Natalie had processed anything else. As wrong, not the focused. 12:15 12 minutes, 15 seconds attention of a mechanic assessing a vehicle for service. Not the appreciative attention of someone looking at a beautiful machine, but 12:24 12 minutes, 24 seconds something more specific and harder to name. She named it wrong. She named it as unauthorized contact with a 3,212 minutes, 32 seconds restricted collection, and she responded to that naming with the direct controlled authority she brought to standards violations in her facility. 12:41 12 minutes, 41 seconds the exchange lasted 47 seconds. Lucas said 6 words that she did not understand that she could not have. 12:49 12 minutes, 49 seconds understood with the information she had and she processed them as a confused deflection rather than a statement of. 12:56 12 minutes, 56 seconds fact. She left the garage. She went to her office. She had a client visit in 4 hours and a collection to prepare. She 13:05 minutes, 5 seconds did not think about Lucas Merritt for the next 40 minutes. Then George knocked on her office door. George Aldous had 13:13 minutes, 13 seconds been Natalie's head of collection for 8 years. He was 53 years old, had spent 30 years in the automotive documentation. 2,213 minutes, 22 seconds and provenance field, and had the specific talent of knowing where information lived and how to find it. 13:29 13 minutes, 29 seconds with minimum friction. He maintained the documentation files for every vehicle in the collection acquisition records. 13:36 13 minutes, 36 seconds service history, insurance value, provenance chains, design attribution files. He had been updating the 13. 4,413 minutes, 44 seconds insurance records for the 2019 Grand Tour that afternoon, a routine annual update triggered by a revaluation from 13:53 13 minutes, 53 seconds. The insurer and had pulled the factory design documentation to verify the production sequence numbers. He had 14:0114 minutes, 1 second opened the file to page 4. He had read the designer attribution section. 14:0714 minutes, 7 seconds. He had read it twice. He had read it a third time. Then he had closed the file, stood up from his desk, and walked down. 14:14 minutes, 14 seconds. The corridor to Natalie's office without calling ahead, which he had not done in 8 years. George knocked once and came. 14:22 14 minutes, 22 seconds in. Natalie looked up from the client preparation file she had been working through. George set the factory design. 14:30 14 minutes, 30 seconds. Documentation for the 2019 Grand Tour on her desk. Open to page 4. He pointed at a name in the designer. 14:38 14 minutes, 38 seconds. Attribution section. George read that Natalie read at lead exterior designer Lucas Merritt, Stella Design Group, Milan. 14:47 14 minutes, 47 seconds. Design development period March 2017 to November 2018. Primary responsibilities: complete exterior form development. 14:56 14 minutes, 56 seconds. Surface language definition production design approval. She read it again. 15:0015 minutes. Natalie Lucas Merritt. George. Yes. She looked up at him. Natalie R. Lucas. 15:0715 minutes, 7 seconds. Merritt. George. I pulled his employment file after I saw it. The name matches. 15:13 15 minutes, 13 seconds. The timeline matches. He was at Stella Design Group in Milan until 4 years ago. 15:19 15 minutes, 19 seconds. Natalie looked at the page. Natalie, he led the exterior design on this car. 15:25 15 minutes, 25 seconds. George, complete exterior form development. That's not a contributing role. That's authorship. A silence. 3,315 minutes, 33 seconds. Natalie looked at the document. She looked at the name. She looked out of her office window at the collection garage below, where the 2019 Grand 15:41 15 minutes, 41 seconds. Tourer sat under the gallery lights in the specific way it always sat, the roof line resolving into the rear hunches. 15:49 15 minutes, 49 seconds, with the coherence that 3 publications had described as the design statement of its generation. 15:58 15 minutes, 58 seconds. George, there's something else. She looked at. He set a second file on the desk beside the first. The 2016 Hypercar. Page 3. She opened it. 16:10 16 minutes, 10 seconds. Designer Lucas Merritt, Stella Design Group, Milan. Role: lead body designer. Exterior form development. Contribution: 16:18 16 minutes, 18 seconds. Full body surface language from concept to clay. Sign off. Production period January 2015 to August 2016. 16:28 16 minutes, 28 seconds. Natalie read the page. She read it again. George stood at the edge of her desk and said nothing because he understood that the moment required silence rather than elaboration. 16:40 16 minutes, 40 seconds. Natalie, he designed both of them. 16:44 16 minutes, 44 seconds. George. Yes. Natalie, he designed the two most significant cars in this collection. George, yes. She looked at 16:52 16 minutes, 52 seconds the files. She looked at the window. She looked at the files again. 16. 5,816 minutes, 58 seconds George, he was in the collection garage this morning. When you Natalie, I know what happened this morning. George, yes. 17:0617 minutes, 6 seconds another silence. Natalie, what was he doing when I came in? George, I wasn't in the garage. I don't know. Natalie, he. 17:16 17 minutes, 16 seconds had his hand on the door handle of the 2019. He was looking at it. Not like a mechanic looks at a car. George. 17:24 17 minutes, 24 seconds said nothing. Natalie, he said he built every one of them. George, he was right. 17:31 17 minutes, 31 seconds Natalie looked at the page for a long time. George left without being asked to leave. He understood this too when to be. 17:38 17 minutes, 38 seconds present. And when the room needed to belong to one person in their accounting, Natalie sat at her desk for 11 minutes. She did not make phone. 17:47 17 minutes, 47 seconds calls. She did not answer the 3 messages that came in during those 11 minutes. She sat with the 2 files open. 17:54 17 minutes, 54 seconds in front of her and she thought not about the professional situation that was clear and its resolution was clear. 18:0218 minutes, 2 seconds she thought about the specific accounting of what had happened in the garage that morning. The sequence of it. 18:0918 minutes, 9 seconds the way it had unfolded. Lucas had been at the car. She had told him to get away from it. He had said he built every one. 18:17 18 minutes, 17 seconds off them. She had said, "What did you just say?" He had said it again in full. 18:24 18 minutes, 24 seconds with specifics. 2 cars, every decision, every panel. She had been standing in front of the person who had. 18:33 18 minutes, 33 seconds created 2 of the 11 cars she had spent years studying, whose design decisions she had read about and thought about. 18:41 18 minutes, 41 seconds and whose work she had paid a combined $6.9 million to own. She had told him he was finished if she saw him near the 18. 5,018 minutes, 50 seconds collection again. She stood up. She picked up both files. She walked down to 18:56 18 minutes, 56 seconds the service bay. Lucas was in bay 2 when Natalie came in. He was working on a routine brake assessment for a client. 19:0519 minutes, 5 seconds vehicle, a task that required his hands and a portion of his attention and left the rest of his attention available for 19:13 19 minutes, 13 seconds the specific quality of waiting that he had been